Next up, we have Yeon Kim versus Priscila Cachoeira. I think I said that correctly. Kim coming in as a negative 170 favorite. Priscila coming in as a plus 145 underdog. This is another exciting fight. As far as women's fights go, I feel like this is a great matchup. Both of these fighters in their last several fights have shown that they're both willing to just kind of stand and get into a slugfest. Kim in her last fight, she is coming off of 2 losses. But in her last fight against McCann, if anything, watch the very last minute of that fight. And obviously both fighters are tired, but they're just standing and just throwing left, right, rock'em sock'em robot style. She's got a chin and she could throw. She had great volume in her last fight against McCann, which went the distance. 122 significant strike landed. And she had over 2 minutes of control, so not all that time was spent standing and was still able to get 122 significant strikes, which is like more than double some of the other fighters on this card, that like the next two that are coming up. She is a little bit slow on her striking, but I think she has really good movement in terms of being in and out movement, lots of lateral movement when she's doing her stand-up, and she has pretty strong grappling. One thing I worry about with her, though, is she's had only 1 fight in each of the last 3 years, so she's not been a super active fighter, whereas Cachoeira is coming off of 2 KO victories, followed by getting subbed in her last match against Robertson by rear naked choke. She's been a little bit more active, and Priscilla's last fight against Robertson, it was really interesting, very controversial, because she ended up losing by rear naked choke, but multiple times she reached up behind her head and seemed like she was purposely gouging Jillian Robertson right in the eyeballs. The commentators were going absolutely nuts about it. I think Joe Rogan even said, Dana should consider just like literally cutting her from the UFC because it was so egregious. And Robertson, just the beast she is, she just went right, just powered right through it and ended up getting the submission, I think with 1 second left in the round, which is crazy. So I've heard someone say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying or something. Yeah, so she definitely seems like she's willing to do anything to win, literally anything, including the most egregious foul you can possibly imagine by trying to gouge somebody's eye out.
Took it back to UFC 1 on that one.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, maybe she was have a flashback of those early UFC days where literally anything was allowed. No rules. But she does look really strong. I think she punches harder than Kim, although I do think she's quite predictable. She will throw lots of overhand rights with little setup, and she is pretty stationary on the footwork. So even though Kim's not a super fast fighter, I still think her footwork is better. And so I'm going to pick Kim in this one to win. I think she's a good grappler, moves better, and I think my prediction is Kim's going to win by submission.
Yeah, unpopular opinion or popular, I think Kim beat Molly McCann, the meatball, and I think McCann only won because it was a heavily European card. Like, there were other, British fighters fighting, and the crowd was cheering for her because there was a lot of people, representing the UK. I believe she fought on the same card that maybe Patty fought on, or something like that, because it was just a crazy amount of people cheering for her when I thought she wasn't. But she was whatever, she got the W. But Kim, I thought, in my opinion, deserved it. Stood with her, went toe-to-toe, like you mentioned, another great fighter who is being represented on this card. Like, this card is just stacked with these up-and-coming fighters that the highlights are crazy. They've been, probably like Fight of the Night or something like that. Kim, I agree with you. I believe Kim's going to win. I think hopefully by striking, because I want her to get that rematch with Meatball. I didn't like that.
Okay. It was a very close match, and it was a really good one, a fun one to watch.